All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back over here. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back your way. Again, I'm excited. If you can hear me, go ahead, put in the comment section. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. As a way of just checking myself and making sure that I'm audible. I just want to make sure that I'm audible. You guys can hear me. Go ahead and put in the comment section. Please go ahead, say something in the comment for me. Let me know I'm audible, I'm live. You guys can hear me so that we can start rocking right now. So go ahead, comment in there for me. Comment in there for me. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Go ahead and put in the comment section. Let's go. So that I know I am not here talking to myself, right? I'm not here just talking to myself. And as we do this as well, also do this for me. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and invite people that hey, we've started. The conversation is on. The conversation is on. The conversation is on as well. Let's invite somebody. Invite somebody to the party. Right? Invite somebody to the party, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and invite somebody. Share this. Share this to somebody. Invite somebody. Tell somebody that hey, we've started. We've started. We've started. Tell somebody that we've started. Share this to someone. Bless somebody with this. Say that we've started. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Share this to somebody. Let's share this to somebody. Let somebody know that we are live. Let somebody know that we are live. So let's go. Please go ahead. Go ahead. I still haven't seen that in the comment section. Somebody typing let's go so that I know that I'm audible and you guys can hear me. Um, type it in there. Say let's go, let's go, let's go, guys. Let's go, let's go. Let's get going. It's showtime. It is showtime. It is showtime. It is showtime. Showtime. It is showtime. The conversation is on. It's showtime, guys. Go ahead, share to somebody, share to your friends, share to your WhatsApp groups, families, people you love, people you care about. Like I said the other day, here it's about love. It's about love, guys. It's about love. We share to people. Yeah, here we're not trying to be greedy, right? Here, our motto is not trying to be greedy. We're not trying to keep the information all by ourselves. Here, the goal is to be able to share this to as many wonderful people as possible. So, here we share. So go ahead, like the broadcast, share to somebody, let someone know that, we are live. We are live over here. We are live, guys. Let somebody know. Let somebody know that we are live. Let someone know that we are live. All right. So welcome back. Welcome back, guys. Welcome, everybody. If you have not shared it, please go ahead. Do me a favor. Let somebody know that we are live and let's get going. So, hey, guys, I'm excited. I'm excited. It's another wonderful day. For the past 3 weeks, no, today is day 5, actually. So 5 weeks, right? So if today happened to be the first day that you're joining us, then that means that you've missed a lot. But hey, you are at a good place. Why? Because you can always go back, whether on the YouTube channel or wherever you're watching this, you can always go back to the previous session or the previous edition and then watch it, watch whatever that, we shared, So day 1, we share a couple of things. Day 2, the same thing. Day 3, we share some good stuff as well for day 3. Day 4, it was also wonderful as well for day 4, right? Day 4, and then that day 4 was last week actually, and then day 5. So today is day 5, right? Today is day 5. So, if you miss something, hey, just go back. All that you have to do is to go back. You can always go back to the previous, session and then catch up quick so that, we can all move at the same pace. But tonight, the conversation is going to be on gig economy. We're talking about gig economy, guys. We're talking about gig economy, gig economy. Somebody type in the comment section, gig economy. Somebody say gig economy for me. So tonight, we're talking about, thriving in the gig economy. You see, the gig economy has become a major force in the global labor market, right? I want you to get this. The gig economy has become what? A major force in the, and a very active force in the labor market, providing new opportunities for individuals across the world. Today, we're taking a trip. Today we're taking a trip through time to explore the history of the gig economy. That's what today we're going to be talking about. How it all started, how it's evolved now, and why become such a big part of the way we work today. Right, the gig economy is very huge, guys. It's very huge. So whether you are looking for a part-time work, a side hustle, or a full-time freelancing, the gig economy offers a path for many people to break into new industries and escape traditional employment. Today, I'll try my best. I'm going to do my best to explain what the gig economy is, the global market, and how you can participate and thrive step by step. So let's get started. Welcome, guys. I wanted to share this broadcast to somebody out there because I know this is going to benefit somebody. I know. I am fully convinced. I am convinced that this is going to bless somebody. So please don't keep this to yourself. Don't, share this to your family, your friends, your school groups, etc. Let somebody know, right? I want you to bless somebody with this broadcast, right? Bless somebody with this broadcast. All right. All right. So, okay, I see for somebody gig economy. Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to, somebody to type in the comment section that, hey, I'm audible. You guys can hear me, and somebody put in there for me. So thank you for doing that for me. Do that for me for putting that in there for me. So what is the gig economy? What is the gig economy? So think about it. I want you to think about it this way. I want you to think about it this way. Um, in the past, most people had one job. I'm trying to break it down, very, very down so that you guys can get it. Most people had only one job. Most people had only one job, right? Only one job. Um, Most people had only one job. They wake up in the morning, they drive, they commute, you get into the bus, they train, whatever. Then they go to work, and then at the end of the day, they come back. They had only one job with just one employer for many years, and that has been the routine, and that has been the norm for so many years, right? But in today's world, you can work different gigs, right? You can work different gigs or what we call short-term jobs for different companies or multiple employers, right? That is where gig comes from, or from your laptop or from your phone. So it is basically a labor market made up of short-term, flexible jobs. Let me take it down one more time. It's basically labor market made up of what? Short-term, flexible jobs where people work independently, often through digital platforms, as we're going to be discussing and talking about tonight. So instead of being tied down to one full-time job or whatever, then they try to explore and do a lot of things for different people. So again, we're going to use our lemonade example. We've been using this lemonade, this child or this kid selling lemonade on the street. So today, that if imagine a child selling lemon on the street at one corner, at one place, right? Today, that child, could use or can use the internet to offer their lemonade through an app or a platform, any digital platforms, taking orders from neighbors and delivering them to their homes. That is how flexible work can be in the gig economy. You can serve multiple people, multiple what people in there. It is not about being tied to one job, but about working multiple jobs when and where you want. So let me, drum this information a little bit home. Let me use some few examples over here so that it will make sense to you guys, as you're watching me. So let's say you are in the technology world, right? You're in the IT world. I'll try and maybe use some few industries so that it doesn't matter your industry. Maybe I'm mentioning your industry or not, but I want you to get it. So let's say you're in the technology industry, the IT industry, right? A freelance software developer, if you're a developer, builds custom mobile applications for small businesses, right? So let me mute my phone over here. I see that I'm getting a lot of um, I'm getting a lot of notifications over here. Let me mute it. All right. So as I was talking about, if you are a developer, you build your what you do is that you build custom applications and custom mobile apps, for small businesses, etc. Right? Instead of working full time for one company, so right, instead of working full time for one company, they take on what they do is that they take on short term contracts through platforms, right? Platforms such as Upwork is an example. TopTal is an example. So many of them. We're going to be hitting on some of these platforms as we go along today. So developing apps, fixing bugs, or consulting on tech strategies for multiple clients. That is one example, right? That is one example. If you are a graphic designer, if somebody who is into you're designing graphics, etc., UI, UX, etc., a graphic designer can take on projects such as logo design, social media graphics, or website layout for different businesses and individuals through platforms such as Fiverr or 99 Designs. They can find clients on some of these platforms worldwide and are paid per what project. They are paid per project. They are paid per project, offering flexibility in terms of time, number one, and also what location. In terms of time and also what location. In terms of time and location, this is very key. So you can say, but how about if I'm in the healthcare industry? Hey, the healthcare industry has also evolved. You can be a registered nurse, you can be a doctor, you can be in any of these areas within the healthcare industry. Today, registered nurse, healthcare professionals through what we call telemedicine, right? Telemedicine. There are platforms. Example of some of these platforms is what we call Tell a Doc. Tell a Doc is spelled as Teladoc, Teladoc, right? Or Teledoc. So they provide remote consultation and advice to patients on a freelance or per appointment basis, right? On a freelance or per appointment basis, and they are doctors, they are nurses. So don't say, oh well, you know. I think what you're talking about might just be for only IT or people in tech or technology. No, healthcare, you're not left out. You're not left out. So even home caregivers, right? There are freelance home caregivers. Freelance home caregivers can work for multiple clients without being tied to one facility or agency as well. Some of you might not be familiar with home care agency, but yeah, or caregivers, but people that understand is very prevalent, very common here in this part of the world. Caregivers, they understand this. Some of them, you do one shift over here, you go and work maybe 8 shifts over here, you have maybe 4 shift hour over here. You tied us. These are all short-term contracts. These are all short-term contracts. These are all short-term contracts, guys. Hey, guys, if you're not sharing, I'm going to ask you guys to share. Please go ahead, share, bless somebody with this. Somebody will say, Banana, I'm also not a healthcare professional. I'm also not an IT professional. I'm into education. Hey, you are not left out, right? I want you to know that you're not left out. An experienced teacher or a subject expert, can offer tutoring services, through platforms like Share or VIP Kids. Hit me up. I'll show you some of. There are so many of these platforms, tutoring platform where you can teach. If you're a teacher or you have expertise in any subject, you can essentially teach on some of these platforms out there. You can teach on some of these platforms out there. There's so many of them. So they set their hours, work with global pool of learners, earning per session basis. This is remarkable. Hey, I keep telling you guys from day one that this series of digital economy is going to transform somebody's life. So you might be a teacher somewhere, you might be in any industry, whatever industry you're in. I just want you to know that there is opportunity for you, right? There is opportunity for you, for everybody. But you might say, now when you talk about teachers, you talk about nurses, you talk about IT professionals, etc. How about people in transport, right? there's opportunity as well. Drivers working for Uber, working for Lyft in ride sharing, or for Uber Eats, DoorDash. There's so many of these apps here in continental US. When it comes here in America, we have GrabHub, we have Postmate, we have DoorDash, we have Uber Eats, etc. These are all part of the gig economy. When somebody delivers food to you, I want you to know, maybe it has not occurred to you yet, but tonight I want you to know that this is part of the gig economy. If you're ordering food on any platform, it's part of the gig economy. You're helping somebody, earn something. They work 4 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, 7 hours, whatever. They are all part of the gig economy. So they pick up passengers sometimes, they deliver food whenever they choose to log into the app. That is gig economy. So offering them, complete flexibility over their work hours and income. You decide. You are the boss, right? When it comes to gig economy, you are the boss. You decide, number one, on the time that you want to work. You decide on the kind of income you want to have. You decide on the hours you want to put in, etc. That is the gig economy, guys. Well, you might say, you talk about transportation, you talk about education, you talk about all the other industries. How about people that are into writing, or into marketing? Hey, you guys are also not left out, right? You can be a freelance writer. And I'm going to be talking to you guys about a little about the history of, gig economy. You guys should understand this. You can be a freelance writer. You can be a copywriter. You can create, marketing content, blog posts, or product descriptions for various business, etc. This is all part of the gig economy, guys. This is all part of the gig economy. Through platforms such as, Freelancer, Pro Blogger, they find clients needing content writing, all while working remotely and managing their own schedules, right? Managing their own schedule. You manage your own time, managing how much you want to earn. That is gig economy, guys. You might say, okay, well, you talk about writing, you talk about marketing, you talk about IT, you talk about education. How about people in the legal space? How about people in the legal space? Hey, paralegals and legal consultants offer freelance services such as document preparation, right? Somebody needs some deeds of assignments, any document, any legal document, legal research, contract drafting through platforms like Hire and Esquire or Law Click. There are so many platforms like that, because you don't know, yeah, you're not making money, right? Because you don't know. Well, once you don't know, you don't know. But when you know about something, that's how you lose out. So there are platforms for even lawyers, for legal people as well. They assist attorneys and businesses on per project basis without being tied to a single law firm. So even if you are in a legal space, there is an opportunity for you within or in the gig economy. People in finance as well. You're in accounting or financial advisors, whatever. An accountant or financial consultant can offer services like that. When it comes to tax preparation, right? I'm sure you guys, or if you're watching me, especially in the US, where at the end of the year we do what we call tax filing a lot. It's mandatory by law, right? In some other jurisdictions, I know it's there, but sometimes it's not all that mandatory. But here in the US or here in continental US, it's mandatory that every citizen at the end of the year you need to file your taxes, right? And in doing so, you will need accountants or tax preparation experts, right? Bookkeeping, people in financial planning, etc. All the people in those categories, finance, accounting, financial advisory, etc. That you have a chance also in the gig economy, right? I want you guys to know that you also have an opportunity in there within the gig economy, right? Because you guys support a lot of small businesses and individuals, to prepare their taxes, bookkeeping, etc. There's an opportunity in there. How about people in real estate? There's opportunity in there. A real estate professional or a property manager oversees short-term rentals listed on platforms like Airbnb. They manage guest bookings, cleaning services, check-ins, earning from multiple properties instead of being tied to one traditional property management role, right? So there's an opportunity for everyone. There is a chance for everyone. I want you guys to know. Even planning and hospitality. How about us? Somebody might say, if you're watching me and you are in the event and planning and hospitality industry, I want you to know that you are not left out, right? A freelance event planner can organize, weddings, corporate events, parties on contract basis, right? Freelance chef, you can even cook. You can, can cater private events or offer cooking classes through platforms like Thumbtack, working per event, right? Without needing full-time employment in a restaurant. So there's opportunity for everybody. Music bands, in Ghana, back in Ghana, even like sometimes when I come to Ghana, I see this a lot. There are bands out there, and sometimes some of these restaurants, they hire them, for Friday night. They have live bands, etc. That is an example of the gig economy, right? They might not know it, but that is an example of the gig economy. So, this is very common, very, very common, for even music bands, right? Even for musicians, individual musicians. If you play keyboard, you play bass guitar, you play drums, or whatever instrument, these days they all play, or they are all on gigs, right? They go and play 2 hour service, Sunday morning. Today is Sunday, right? And I'm sure that a lot of musicians, they just coming back, they just getting back home, right? They just getting back home after all these gigs on Sunday. So today, boys play gigs all the time, all over the place. So, you know gig economy is not anything new. One way or the other, is either we know we are involved or we don't know. And today you're gonna know, so that you begin to assess and evaluate yourself and look at yourself and know where you can plug in. Now, all of this might sound very modern, right? But let me tell you, the roots of the gig economy go way back. The roots of the gig economy go way back. To be able to understand this, you know, gig economy, we have to go back to the 19th century, believe it or not. I was even shocked, you know, as I read some of these books and read some of these materials, and, it goes back way, 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 way back, believe it or not, way back. Freelancing started long before the internet, long before the internet. Gig jobs, gig work started long before the internet. Back in the day, people freelance, journalists, artists, and writers were hired on project basis, right? They were hired on project basis. These freelancers will move from job to job, kind of like what we see today, right? From one band, they play this concert, they play other concert, they move to a different place as well. Even in the Industrial Revolution, independent contractors were hired, to do specialized, work. Independent contractors were hired, were hired, were hired to do specialized work, to do specialized work. Um, but it was more manual labor, right, than digital. That is the difference. It was more of what, manual labor than digital. But as we move into the 20th century, the world of freelancing expanded. In fact, the term gig, when we say gig, G-I-G, gig, when we say gig, itself come from musicians in the 1920th jazz scene. Those days they referred to their one-off performance as gigs, 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 and that's where the term stuck. That's where the term stuck. Gig. They start talking about gig, gig, gig. By the mid 20th century, right? By the mid 20th century, the economy started, shifting, especially after the World War II. People began working freelance jobs in industries like construction, consulting, and healthcare. It wasn't called the gig economy back then, but independent contracting and temporary jobs were becoming more common, right? That's how some of them, they used to term it: temporary jobs, independent contracting, and that type of thing, right? Fast forward to the 1990s and then the early 2000s, right? The 1990s, the early 2000s. This is where things really started to change. Technology played a huge role. The rise of the internet and digital platforms transform people, transform how people could work. Suddenly, you didn't need to work full time in an office. You could write code, design websites, manage social media accounts for clients halfway across the world, right from your home, right? Some of the first platforms to embrace this were, Craigslist. Craigslist. When I first, immigrated to or migrated to America, One of the platforms that was very common back in the days was Craigslist and Elance, right? Elance. There's a platform called Elance, and then Craigslist. And I've used Craigslist multiple times. I've used Craigslist myself multiple times. If you want people to come and work on something for you, that's Craigslist. If you want to sell something, Craigslist. If you needed a job, Craigslist. Craigslist was very common. These days it's still common, but a lot has changed in the industry. But in the late 2000s, and I think mid 2000, early 2000, Craigslist was very common. It was a go-to platform for several things. I think here in America. And then Elance, which later became Upwork. So Upwork it didn't just start as Upwork, but it was coming from a platform called Elance. And then it sort of changed into what today we call Upwork. These platforms allow people to find gigs such as tech jobs, content writing, and even manual work like moving services. Craigslist, if you're moving from one apartment, one home to the other home, if you need movers, people to help you move your stuff, that is where you go. That's where you go. So manual jobs was not even exempted, right? So you could even find some of these things on this platform. The concept of remote independent work was starting to boom at that time. But the real game changer, guys, was 2008, right? Anybody knows what happened in 2008, 2009? When the global financial crisis hit, many people lost their job, right? They lost their traditional jobs and they had to turn to freelancing and side gigs to make ends meet. This is when the term gig economy started to take off, guys. This is when the term, gig economy started to take off. So 2008, 2009, that was really the time because of the financial crisis, and a lot of people were thrown out of their, traditional jobs. They have to find something to do, and that's when we began seeing this. At that same time, digital platforms started to multiply. That was the time that digital platform began, started to multiply. Uber was founded in 2009, right? Uber, as we know, as a ride-hailing app, platform. Uber was founded in 2009, and soon after, platforms like Lyft, Airbnb, Fiverr, Take Tax Rabbit, and DoorDash all emerged. These companies allowed in everyday people to take control of their life, their work life, whether that means driving people around or picking people from point A to point B or delivering services, renting out their homes, offering freelance services. That was the beginning. This marked the birth of what we today we call as the gig economy, right? The gig economy, the gig economy. Today, the gig economy is bigger than ever, right? Today, it's very big, and that's why we are talking about it. And that's why it has become very important for us to discuss this, for us to talk about this. Very, very important. Today, the gig economy is very big. Platforms like Upwork, Uber, Fiverr, and even newer services like Instacart and Postmate connect millions of people, right? Millions of people around the globe. It is estimated, and I think in my second day two, I think day one or day two or something, I even talk about it, that here in continental US, in America, about 57 million Americans. This is a staggering number. This is a huge number. About 57 million Americans are part of the gig economy, whether doing full time or on the side. As there's an urban slang that we say, side hustle, side hustle, side hustle, side hustle, right? So whether they're doing it full time or even on the side. It is not just limited to creative jobs or driving. Industries like finance, like I talked about, law, healthcare, and even education are jumping in, right? I talk about telemedicine, teledoc, all these platforms. Whether you're a nurse, you're a teacher, it doesn't matter your industry. You can all be part of the gig economy. So offering gigs that range from online consulting to remote tutoring. And as technology evolves, it is only expected to grow. As we see so much coming in into this space of technology. The future is good, guys. The future is good. The future looks good. So what next? Some expect has been predicted. They started predicting all over the place that the gig economy will make up about 50% of the workforce in the coming years. About 50% of the global workforce in the coming years. More companies, are relying on freelancers and independent contractors to keep their business agile and cost effective. And with the rise of even things like, you guys already know, AI and automation, right? Automation or automation, AI and remote work, we might see even more innovation in how gigs are offered and managed. But it is not all sunshine, guys. There are ongoing debates about work rights, benefit, job security in the gig economy. So while it's flexible, right? While it is flexible and full of opportunities, there are still room for improvement in ensuring gig workers are protected. I think when I think day 2 or day 3, when we were talking about the themes of the new economy, I talk about discordance. I talk about discordance. Please refer to that video, discordance. We talk about it. I talk about some few things in there. But no, now let's talk about, so all these things, the history, the opportunities are in there. Let's narrow down our conversation. Let's look at the gig economy globally, right? Especially maybe in emerging market, right? Let's look at it from the emerging market side. Um, let's look at it from the emerging market side. So um, let's take a look at the gig economy globally, especially emerging market. In countries like Nigeria, you'll be surprised, Nigeria, Brazil, and India, the gig economy is growing at a phenomenal rate. Millions of people are using platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, Uber, TaxRabbit to find work. These platforms, connect workers, with employers from all over the world. In Kenya, I think in Africa, I would say Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and so maybe one or two, maybe Rwanda. Rwanda is also coming up along, and even Ghana as well. Ghana is to come, but Ghana is not really that there. But Nigeria is really there. You'll find Nigerians all over, service providers all over the place. All the platforms. Some of these platforms, I'm familiar with some of the platforms for years, and whenever I go over there, I see Nigerians, a lot of them. That is good. And Kenyans, there are a lot of Kenyans as well, and Rwanda, and then some few Ghanaians as well. But tonight, what is going on. By the time we are done with this session, what is out there and what you can where you can maybe also start from, right? So in Kenya, for example, many freelancers offer services like graphic design. A lot of Ghanaians, there are a lot of good guys in there in that space of graphic design and all these doing flyers and doing all those, but they are not opening themselves up globally, to the global market. They need to open themselves up, they need to do that. In Africa, Nigerians and Kenyans and all these people, they are opening themselves up to Europeans, to Americans, to people, everywhere. They are attracting, they are earning everywhere. They're not leaning and depending on their local economy, right? They're not leaning and depend on their local economy. So we also need to do that. Let's look at how some examples from advanced countries, where people are using the gig economy to escape this. I think I mentioned some few things in there. So in America, like I said, 57 million people, 57 million people. I strongly believe that if there is a way for people, especially in remote, deprived communities or developing countries, to be able to escape poverty, I think the gig economy might be one of the routes, right? The gig economy is going to be one of the routes where and how people, especially in developing countries, can escape poverty. They can escape poverty. Like I said, America, almost about 57 million. That's huge. That's a staggering number, and this number will keep rising. Will keep going up, right? And we also need to be able to understand this and then be able to take advantage of this. Now, you might be thinking that, okay, well, is this really a private sector thing or a public sector thing? I think, the gig economy is primarily driven by private companies, right? They are private companies looking for talent, looking for resources, looking for people to work with all over the world. So largely, I would say private, companies. You look at, Airbnb. These are short-term gigs. They are part of the gig economy. You don't necessarily have to rent or put people in your home for 2 years, lease, 1 year lease, whatever, short-term rentals, right? Airbnb, Uber, Deliveroo, and freelancer, which connect independent workers with customers, etc. These companies provide these platforms, right? And they are private sector. But government also play a significant role as well, right? I will not say that everything is done by just the private sector. Many governments are now introducing regulations to ensure that gig workers are treated fairly, right? They are treated fairly. I think last week I said something. Go back to that, video. I think day 4 video. I said something in there. So governments are beginning to come in to regulate the market to make sure that there is fairness, right? For instance, in the UK, gig workers have fought for better employment rights. And in California, laws have been introduced to classify gig workers as employees rather than independent contractors, right? So there are a lot of regulations going on, a lot of things that are coming into this space. So while private companies create the jobs, governments are becoming more involved in regulating the space as well. Now you might think that, hey, can I just get up, and start doing something, within this space? Yeah, but you need to know of the compliance things that you must adhere to, right? Compliance is crucial in the gig economy. Many workers are classified as full employees, so they don't always have access to traditional benefits. They are not classified as full-time employees, and so they don't have traditional, employees benefit like healthcare, or health insurance, paid leave, retirement plans, etc. Regulations differ from country to country, but some of these countries are now beginning to look at this very well and make sure that something is done to help the citizen or the worker. In countries like over here in the US, gig workers must report their income, pay taxes, while in the European Union, I think there might be some regulations as well. There are regulations are even stricter around workers' rights and data protection. So here in the US, yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's a gig work or it's a full-time work, you still have to comply to some few things such as reporting of your income and paying your taxes, etc. In there. Now let's look at the market size. I want us to look at the market size, guys. This is huge, right? This is very huge. What we are dealing with is huge, guys. North America, about 36% here. North America means United States and then Canada. United States and Canada. Approximately over about 36% of US workers and Canadians, they all participate in the gig economy, contributing to over what 1.2 trillion annually to the economy, right? This is a huge number, guys. 1.2 trillion is a big number. It's a very big number. European countries like UK, France are seeing rapid growth also in the gig economy, with over 10 million people working in the gig economy as well. When you are in the UK, France, they begin to see numbers like that. Asia, China, they lead the Asia's gig workforce as well. That is India and China. In Africa, I mentioned Nigeria, I mentioned South Africa, I mentioned Kenya, where these guys are doing so well within this space as well. And then Latin America, Brazil and Argentina are leading the region when it comes to gig platforms adoption or gig economy adoption as well. So that's where things stand within this region. So the opportunity in there, guys. If you're watching me from Nigeria, if you're watching me from Ghana, if you're watching me from Rwanda, from Zimbabwe, working from Singapore, from Philippines, if you're in Manila, Philippines, or you are in Indonesia, Jakarta, wherever you're watching me from, there's an opportunity in there for all of us. There's so much in there for all of us, right? Because the gig economy market is already massive, contributing for our 5 trillion globally. Now it's been, I think, 7.2 or something trillion, something like that, somewhere around that, by 5 trillion globally, right? This number is expected to grow. It's expected to grow, projecting almost to the value of about 10 trillion in the coming years by 2030, right? With the rise of new platforms and growing demand for flexible work. So, guys, there is an opportunity in there. Now, you may ask me, Nana, so, what are the resources needed? I think for anybody to participate, just like maybe the digital economy we talked about the previous week, for anybody to get into the digital or the gig economy, I think primarily number one is access to internet, right? Access to internet. Access to internet. I think for anybody to get into this space, you cannot participate in this economy. You cannot participate in this without, um, 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 without access to what internet, without access to internet. So a smartphone, a computer with a stable internet connection, I think you will need that. You're going to need a smartphone. You're going to need a computer with a stable internet connection to be able to participate in this. Number two, right? Number two, and usually we have this resources. We all have access to internet today. I don't think there is anybody who does not have access to internet, or does not have access to what you call it, a smartphone or a cell phone. We all do. We all do, but maybe we are using it wrongly. Too much of the comedy, right? We're watching too much comedy, guys. We're using the internet to watch too much comedy, but this is the same phone, same data asset that you have, that you can thrive in the gig economy. So access to internet, I think number one, very, very important. Number two is digital skills. Number two, guys, is digital skills. You need some digital skills. You will need how you need to know how some of these platforms work. So the platforms that I mentioned, like Upwork, Fiverr, and even social media, you need how to work, right? If you're watching me, you think maybe you are too advanced in age, you are really going up there. No, everybody can participate. I talk about this the first day that we can all participate in this. It's either you use the skills that you already have, or you'll have to make adjustments, you'll have to make sacrifice, and then learn new skills so you'll be able to create your own personal economy, right? So digital skills is of essence, it's very important. And then I think the third resource, or the third skill that you need to know, or you need to have, is banking access. Because gig economy, you get paid. The essence of yeah, participating in the gig economy. So just so you earn some decent income. So to be able to do that, that only means that you need to have some access to some type of payment, right? Banking access. In many cases, you will need a bank account or some digital payment system like PayPal, maybe mobile money, in some other parts of the world, or any other means where you can collect what is due you for the work that you've done, right? For the work that we've done. Are there any barriers to entry? Are there any barriers to entry? Are there any barriers? I think um, limited internet access can be one factor as well. Without stable internet, it's difficult to participate. You cannot, guys, take on a job for somebody in Europe. So somebody, maybe you live in maybe Nigeria, you live in Ghana, you live in Senegal, you live in any part of the world, maybe in Philippines or in Indonesia or anywhere, right? You cannot take a job and you're expected to deliver at a certain time, maybe tomorrow, 12 p.m., or maybe tomorrow by 7 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, or you're supposed to deliver this work maybe by 4 p.m. or by 5 p.m. EST, and then you'll come up with some unreasonable excuse that your internet, you had an outage on with internet, you had some flimsy excuses here and there. So to be able to really participate in this economy, that means you will need a stable internet, right? You cannot do this without a stable internet, guys. You cannot do this. You cannot participate in this. You cannot get on Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer, all these platforms, and start working for people with your talent, with your abilities, God gifted abilities, or whatever skill that you have, and then you have limited access to internet. How are you going to work? How are you going to be able to communicate with your client? How are you going to get to them, talk to them, and respond back, take feedback, and get things done? So limited internet access is going to be a barrier, right? Limited access to internet, or limited internet access, is going to be an issue. Number two is lack of digital literacy, right? Lack of digital literacy. So many people don't know how to use gig platforms or market their services online. Guys, if you are really interested in participating in this gig economy, you need to know some basic things. You need to know how to use basic stuff, basic technology. You need to know this. And then the last thing, there's so many things I can talk about, but maybe the third thing is maybe regulatory hurdles, right? Regulatory hurdles. So different countries have different labor laws and tax regulations, which can make it complicated and gig workers to, for gig workers to operate, in these territories. But largely, guys, it's open. The market is massive, and the market is what, open to everybody. So I do not want you to, I don't want you to, take yourself out of this. Yes, gig economy is still growing, guys, and there are plenty of opportunities for even new entrants, for you and I. So tonight, you will leave here, create a profile, tell somebody, let people know, put a description in what you can do, what you can offer. So if you have skills in writing, designing, coding, and even ride sharing, right? If you have a small car somewhere, you can join the platforms and connect with clients and start delivering something, right? The beauty of gig economy, guys, the beauty of gig economy is that it is flexible. It is flexible. It is flexible. There's room for newcomers to start small and grow, right? And what are the challenges? Of course, I say some of these things, you might think that, oh, then it's very easy. There are challenges as well. And you need to be able to psych yourself and overcome some of these challenges as well. So number one is job security. See, gig workers don't have the same job security as traditional employees, right? Some people, hey, they know where they are coming from. They know where they're coming from, right? And so for them, um, they want job security. They want to make sure that tomorrow they can earn something, right? No fuel. They want to make sure that tomorrow they have something small coming in as salary. So they don't want to leave their maybe current job. They do not want to leave their current job and then start working on gigs while they are not sure if somebody's going to hire them, somebody's going to hire their talent, somebody's going to get them the next day or not. So job security is one of the challenges as well for some people. But if you believe in yourself and if you really want to do this, you get in and you get going, right? And then things will align, things will work out. But if you're a traditional person, you want to work 9 to 5 and make sure that there's salary coming for you, then job security is one. And then number two is what, inconsistent income, right? Work availability can fluctuate. Work availability can fluctuate, and there are no guarantees, right? Your profile can be there, can save somebody's platforms. That's why it's called gig. As and when you want to work, you work. As and when you want to earn something, you earn something. You have an income as well. So work availability can fluctuate. It's not every day that somebody's going to need you for 4 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. There are no guarantees. So be aware of that as well. And then number three is lack of benefit. Some people, and especially family people, they always want something like maybe health insurance so that they can take care of their kids, especially in the Western world, in the advanced world like America, etc. Healthcare can be very expensive. It can be, it's not, it can be very expensive. It is expensive. Let me say it right. It is expensive. Healthcare is expensive. So people need some of these healthcare benefits. So that's why, you know, they may not want to get on gig economy, but the benefit is also huge, right? Just healthcare, if you're living healthy, you're doing the right thing, you might be okay, but maybe you might need this for your children as well. To succeed in this, you have to be disciplined. You have to be very disciplined. Some people say, oh, yeah, if this is cool like that, if this is okay, let me jump in. Guys, don't jump in there. Number one, you got to be what? Disciplined. You got to be disciplined. What do I mean? Because you are on your own and you're working on your own and you are your own boss, as people will want to call it. I'm my own boss. People will love that term. They want to be their own boss. They want to be their own boss. You are your own boss. So managing time and deadline is key, right? Managing time, deadline is key. When you work for traditional organizations, because there are regulations, there are rules that guides how your conduct, your behavior, how you work, etc. You're supposed to report to work at 9 a.m. You show up. You're supposed to deliver something. You do it because you know that if you don't do it, you're going to be fired. That happens. This time around is different. Why? Because this time around you do things on your own. You You're managing your own time, deadline for projects, with clients, etc. You're managing it. There's nobody that is going to be at your tail trying to fire you up, motivate you. You need to motivate yourself. So discipline is key, right? Number one, discipline. Resilience. You will face setbacks, but persistence will help you to overcome this. You're going to face setbacks. There are certain things that some clients will not be happy about your delivery, about what you have done, but you need to, you got to be, persistent, right? Flexibility. You have to adapt quickly to changes in demand and market trends, right? Sometimes you're going to lose some hours. A holiday, you might be working. It might be a holiday in your country, but you got to be working because you have clients that you are supporting globally, right? In the global world, you're supporting clients everywhere in the world. And so you cannot say it is Independence Day for you, it is whatever day, unless maybe you negotiate with your clients very well that, hey, I may have to delay on this. But you need to have that flexibility. You cannot say that it's night, you won't sleep. You need to work your hours very well to be able to deliver. And then I think number three, you need to have entrepreneurial mindset. Like I said in the first one, like discipline, because you are managing your own schedule, managing your own time, doing your own thing. I think that business mentality. You need to have that business mentality. Very important. So, what are the steps for you to be able to participate in the gig economy? I'm going to talk about some few things that I think will help you to be able to thrive, to be able to step into the gig economy. Number one is for you to be able to identify your skill, right? Number one is identify your skill. Identify your skill. Identify your skill. So what do I mean? First things first, you need to be able to identify what skills you have that can be monetized. You cannot monetize something that you don't have. You need to be able to have this. You need to be able to have this, guys. You need to be able to have this. Number one is that you need to be able to have this. You need to be able to identify what skills that you have. Remember the day one we talk about is that in the digital economy, it is either you use the skills that you already possess or you make sacrifice, right? You have to make sacrifice, right, to be able to learn new skills so you can participate in this digital economy. So number one, you have to be able to identify the skills that you already have to be able to what monetize this. So are you a talented writer? Can you write? Right? Can you write? Are you a graphic designer? Are you a web developer? You're into IT. Maybe you have a car. You have an idle car sitting down somewhere. After work, maybe some few hours. When you close or when you get off from work, right? When you get off from work, what do you do? Right? If you have an idle car, a car sitting down, you can do something, right? Have a car and you want to join the ride sharing community with Uber, Lyft, and all these other players. You can, right? You can. Very important. You can have a knack. You can have a knack for organizing, or you can have a knack for maybe organizing or want to offer, virtual assistant services. Take some time to assess your strengths, your interests, because this will be your foundation for finding what gigs. This is going to be the foundation for what finding gigs. Number two. So number one is identify your skill. Number two is what? Choose a platform, the platform that you want to work on, right? So choose a platform. So there are so many of this platform. I said in the beginning, if you're a healthcare professional, if you're a doctor, a nurse, or whatever, there are telemedicine platform, or telemedicine platform like Teledoc. There's so many of them out there, right? So number two is what? Choose a platform. What can I do? Well, on what platform can I put my skills, my talent to use, right? So platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, Uber, Lyft, and all these other platforms, VIP kits if you're a teacher or you're into education, or Shirk, all these platforms, tutoring. You can offer tutoring. Maybe you are good with maybe mathematics, you are good with English, you are good with any other subject, science, whatever, physics. You can put your talent out there. So you can teach kids, and then they pay you per session, right? That is what this gig economy is about. That's what it's about. So number two is to be able to what? Choose your platform. Choose your platform, right? Choose your platform. Even DoorDash, if you want to deliver food, deliver whatever, choose a platform. Choose a platform. So choose a platform that aligns with your skills. Skills is crucial. Choosing the platform that aligns with your skill is crucial because it connects you to your target audience, right? That's number two. So number one, identify your skill. Number two, what? Choose a platform that like Upwork, Fiverr, Uber, whatever. Choose your platform. Number three is create a profile showcasing your skill. Number three, that's the third point. Create a profile showcasing what? Your skill. Now that you are on a platform, the next step is to what? Create a killer profile, right? That's the next step. Create what? A killer profile. This is like your resume, a portfolio of all the things that you have done, some of the things that you can offer, right? So your profile should clearly explain who you are, what your services, what services you offer, and why clients or customers should choose you, right? Number one, you talk about who you are as you create a profile on these platforms, services that you offer, and why clients or customers should choose you. Why should they hire you and not hire somebody else? This is very, very important, guys. This is very important. So you make sure that you highlight your skills, highlight your experience, and any relevant certification or achievement, and don't forget, a professional looking photo, sometimes helps build trust too. If you have a good looking, professional, photograph, right, a photo of yourself, it builds that kind of trust as well. They can put an image to who is saying all these things about themselves, right? Tailor your resume to attract the kind of jobs that you want. So number three, create a profile. Now that you've identified a platform, whether you are a nurse, you are a teacher, or you serve in any industry, you are into event, whatever, create a profile out there, right? The fourth point here, is what? Start applying for gigs or listenings your services. So start applying for gigs. So once you get on this platform, don't assume that just your profile being out there, people reach out to you. Yes, people reach out to you. People reach out to me all the time. I have profile on Upwork, I profile on other places. If I profile everything, every now and then people come to me. But be ready to even bid on projects yourself. You have to be able to launch out and say, okay, I see a job post here. They're looking for somebody like this. Look for somebody with this skill set, with this background. Do I qualify? Start bidding for even some of these projects to work on, right? So start applying for gigs. Start applying to them. Don't wait. Next up, it's time for you to start applying. Start applying. Start applying. On these platforms that I talked about, like Upwork, Fiverr, etc., begin to browse. Begin to browse through the job postings that match your skills and submit proposals, right? Begin to do what? Begin to browse through the jobs that are there, right? Begin to browse through the proposals that are there. Begin to do that. Begin to browse through the jobs that people are posted. They're looking for some talent. You are the talent that they're looking for, right? So don't exempt yourself. Don't take yourself out. Don't be afraid to apply for multiple gigs and promote your services to gain visibility. It's very important, guys. Very important. Very important. The fifth one is build your portfolio to attract more clients. You need to build your portfolio so that you'll be able to attract more clients. You need to build your portfolio so that you can attract more clients. Why do I say that? As you start landing jobs, it is important to build your portfolio. If you have done a job before in the past, don't just let it go. Write it down. Write all the things that, whatever that you worked on, put it down. And they are part of your portfolio, right? Your portfolio sort of, showcases, the work you have done, the clients that you have served before, their testimonials, the success stories, all the things that you've done in the past. This is very important. So potential clients often look at the past work before even hiring you, right? Today, if I'm knocking at your door and I'm saying, hey, can you give me this job? I think I can offer this job for you guys. You're going to ask me, what have you done in this space, right? That is part of your portfolio. Be able to have that portfolio, your success story, the testimonials of your clients or previous job that you have done. Showcase it to people. Let people know that, okay, I work for ABC company. I work for XYZ Limited. I work for XYZ LLC. Showcase. Be ready to do that. That is how people will get to know you. That's how people will find you. And that's how they begin to connect with you and begin to know that, oh, okay, all right, I think you can you'll be able to take on this task, or you'll be able to do this job for us, right? So more clients, potential clients, guys, they will look into this very well. They'll be looking at this very well. So have a strong portfolio. Having a strong portfolio can make you or break your chances of getting more jobs, right, in the future. So if you're just starting out, don't have and don't have much to show yet, you can offer few services at a discount rate as well. You see, one of the things that you can get into the market also maybe at a faster time or whatever. It's also by giving people discount, right? You try to tell you can deliver this job, but if people who are there who have a lot of visibility, they are charging maybe $100, be able to come down and say, hey, I can do this job for maybe 60, right? And it's not because you are reducing the job you're going to offer a shabby work, or you're going to do something anyhow. No, you just want to get into the market. That is penetration. That is what we call customer acquisition. You want to be able to acquire customers, right? And that's one of the strategies that you can use to get into the market. Very, very important, guys. Very, very important. Offer something at discounted rate. So make sure your portfolio grows with every new project. So as you begin to take on new gigs, new jobs, etc., now they'll all begin to add up to your portfolio. The next one is be able to set up a digital payment method. Guys, I talk about it, that some type of banking access is very important in the gig economy. In the gig economy, as we are talking about today, next week we're talking about maybe sharing economy, right? Maybe next week is for sharing economy. Next week, that's what we're going to be dealing with, sharing economy. But you need some type of payment platform. That is where you're going to be receiving payment, right? Of course, you are here to make money. So you will need to set up a reliable payment method. Most of these platforms pay through PayPal, bank direct transfers, sometimes through built-in system that allows you to withdraw funds to your local account. But make sure you are registered on your preferred method of payment, right? Whether it is Stripe, PayPal, or any traditional bank account. Double check, guys. I want you guys to double check if the platform you're using charges any fees, so you know exactly what you are taking home. All this is very important. Set up digital payment method, right? Set up a digital payment method. That is very important. And then the last thing here is market yourself, right? Market yourself. To really succeed in the gig economy, you need to market yourself beyond just the platform. Social media is a very powerful tool for attracting more clients. Create a business profile on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, depending on your industry, right? Depending on the industry. Share your portfolio, post your client testimonials, and engage with potential customers, right? Share your portfolio, share it to people. Send them a message, whether they want it or not. Share it to them on Facebook, all your friends, all the content that you have. Share it to them. Let them know what you are into. Let them know what you do, right? Let them know what you do. Join relevant online forums, Facebook groups, Reddit communities where people are seeking your services. The more, guys, the key here is that the more visibility you have, the more opportunities you will attract. Let me say that one more time. This is very important. The more visibility that you have out there, the more opportunities you will attract. I said this to a friend and a brother not too long ago, that hey, we are not just out there. Me, if you ask me, I'm not out there trying to be visible by hype. I want to be visible by what? Value. We want to be visible by what we carry, what people can come to us for, by value. We don't want to be visible by hype and comedy and all those things. They're all great, but that's not what we are here for. We want to be visible by what? Value. The more visibility you have, the more opportunities you will attract. Somebody will be searching Facebook for something, and then boom, they will land on your video. Like, oh, this guy was teaching on something. That's very interesting. We need him to be part of this. That is how things work, guys. Put your work out there, that you can do this, you can do that. Somebody will be searching, they will land on your post, right? That is how it works. That is how it works. Now, there are technical and soft skills that are needed in this space, right? Technical and soft skills that are needed in this space. Now, depending on the gig, this could be anything from programming to driving to all the things that I've shared today, right? Soft skills is also very, very important. Soft skills are very important. Communication, time management, negotiation are critical for building relationship with clients and customers. Guys, when you are out there, like I mentioned, this time around is gig economy. You are managing your own time, you are managing your own fees, you are managing your own rate. It is not a company paying you salary so that you can work for them. This time around, you are out there in the gig economy. You have to determine, how much am I going to charge? What is my billing rate? Some people don't even know. For the starters, when you're putting yourself out there that people should hire you, how much do they want you to pay you? $15 an hour, $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $25. You have to know this. Time management, negotiation skills, how you can negotiate with your, clients, potential clients, and customers, right? Very important. You know, um, what are some of the revenue models, on this gig economy? When it comes to gig economy, pretty much when it comes to gig economy, it is basically tax based. You get paid for completing a specific tax, right? By like delivering food or designing, let's say, an example, a logo, right? The revenue model, the revenue model employed here is what? Number one, tax based. So you only get paid for completing a specific task, right? You only get paid for what? Completing a specific task, right? And then number two revenue model that is used here in the gig economy is service-based. Freelancers like writers or consultants, they charge hourly or per project fees, right? They charge hourly or per project fees. That's also number two. And then the third revenue model that is also very common in this space, very common is what we call commission based, right? Commission based. I'll talk about, when we get to subscription economy, we'll talk about, subscription and other things like that. But for here, let me limit this to commission based. So platforms like Uber, Airbnb, they take percentage of what transaction. So commission based, commission based, commission based. Now, you might be asking me, what can I start with? You don't need a lot of money to get started in the gig economy, guys. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of money to be able to start within this space. You don't need a lot of money, guys. You don't need a lot of money to be able to start here. With smartphone and internet, like I mentioned, you can sign up for some of these platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, and to begin with. And you can start service immediately. Before you know it, somebody might be needing your service by tomorrow morning, right? For those in developing countries, microfinance or local support programs can help you cover up small initial costs. If you really think that you need money to set up something, then you might want to look into some of these areas, right? You may want to look in some of these areas. So as I'm wrapping up, let's look at the benefit and then we'll call it a day, guys. I know I've run out of time today a little bit. These sessions are supposed to be 1 hour. Today, forgive me. Let me run through these benefits and then we'll call it a day and then we'll come back next week and then we'll take off from there. All right, guys, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this. All right. So what is the number one benefit? As I'm wrapping up, what is the number one benefit when it comes to gig economy? What is the number one benefit when it comes to gig economy? I think flexibility and autonomy. Flexibility and autonomy. Very important. Flexibility and autonomy. First up, flexibility, autonomy. Gig workers get to choose their own schedules. It cannot get better than this, right? It cannot get exciting than this, right? Gig workers, they get to choose their own schedules. You decide when you work, where you work, how much you work. This freedom makes it very, easier to balance other priorities, right? Like family, hobbies, or education. And that's a huge win. This is very important. So flexibility and autonomy. This is very important. If you're a gig worker or if you are playing in the gig economy, you get to choose your own schedule. I beg your pardon. You get to choose your own schedule, right? It is very important. Number two benefit is you can have diverse income streams. Diverse income stream, right? Next, we have diverse income stream. Unlike maybe 9 to 5, you work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that's it. That's what brings you money. Here in the gig economy, you have income coming in from all sort of places, right? So, unlike 9 to 5, where you depend on just one paycheck, the gig economy allows you to what? Take on multiple gigs at once. And that means, you are not putting all your eggs in one basket. You have opportunity to earn from different sources. So if one gig slows down, you got backup. There's always a plan B, right? There's always a plan B. What is the third benefit, guys? What's the third benefit? What's the third benefit, guys? Are you guys with me? What's the third benefit? I think the third benefit is opportunities for skill development. Because, see, another perk here is skill development. Working gigs in different industries or on various projects allows you to build diverse skill set, whether it's graphic design, programming, copywriting. Every gig adds more tools to your toolkit. Let me say that again. Every gig that every project you work on, they add tools to your toolkit, making you more marketable. See, as you work on different projects for different clients, in different territories and different regions and different countries, different cities across the world, their demands, the things that they want, how they prefer different things, you begin to learn different things. You begin to learn, you begin to add on the things that you already know. And so this is very important. So there's opportunity for you for skill development. You begin to learn different things. And this is very, very important. This is very, very important. Number four benefit. Number four benefit is work-life balance. Work-life balance. Now let's talk about work-life balance, right? Because you are in control. You are in control of your schedule. You can arrange work around your personal life, not the other way around. This flexibility makes it easier to fit in family time, vacations, or just some me time without the guilt, right? You don't feel guilty. You don't feel guilty about this. You are in control of your schedule. You are in charge of your schedule. And then the next one is what? Access to global opportunities, right? Gig economy offers access to global opportunities. Global opportunities. And this is very, very important, guys. Very important. The gig economy is global. It's global. Thanks to online platforms, you can connect with clients and companies worldwide, meaning you are not limited to jobs in your local area. You're not limited to jobs in local area. Whether you are sitting in New York or in Nairobi or in Kigali or in Lagos or in Accra or in Dakar or in Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso, everywhere, or in Manila, Philippines, or in maybe Jakarta, Indonesia, everywhere, in Mumbai, India, everywhere. It doesn't matter where you find yourself. The world is your marketplace. The world is your marketplace. So you can work for anybody. Global opportunity that is coming in from everywhere. Now, gig economy does also offer benefits to even employers, companies as well. So if you're in a company owner, you own a small business, number one is cost saving. Cost saving. Businesses can save a lot of money by hiring gig workers because they don't have to worry about employee benefit, office space, long-term contract. It's a lean and efficient way to get work done, right? So cost saving is also a big one. You don't have to worry about office space. You don't have to go and, I don't know if for instance, if I want a team somewhere in India, Indonesia to work for me, and maybe Philippines, etc. I don't have to rent office space in Atlanta here, where I live, right? I don't have to get a big office space, spend a huge money on office, on rent and things like that, right? On things like that. I can scale back, and then use the money for something else, right? Number two for me, for as an employer, number two is what? Scalability and agility. Scalability and agility. So another big benefit is scalability. Imagine you are a startup. You're starting very small. Sometimes you need 10 workers. Sometimes you need just 2. It's not every day that you're going to need about 10 people to be working for you at the same time. So gig economy, or playing or working or hiring people in that space, allows you the flexibility. Gig economy lets your businesses scale their workforce up and down depending on demand without the hassle of traditional hiring processes, right? So if you need 5 people to work on something, you hire 5. If you need 10 people to work on something, you just hire 10. If you need 2 people at any time, you hire 2. That is beneficial. That is very useful. So scalability and agility, the flexible nature of how you can hire where you need them on all this contract base, it's very good for business owners as well. Number 3 for as businesses is access to diverse talent pool, right? You have a plethora of talent, global talent. You have access to global talent, right? Companies can gain access to a diverse talent pool. Need an app developer, you can find it. Need a marketing expert, you can find it. Need a graphic designer, you can find it. You can find a perfect person for a job quickly. You can find a perfect person anywhere in the world without being limited to your local area. I don't have to depend on talent here in Atlanta for whatever I want to do. I don't have to depend on talent in Lagos. You don't have to. You can find talent anywhere. This is very important. Access to diverse talent pool, guys. Access diverse talent pool. The next thing is innovation and fresh perspective. innovation, and fresh perspective. You see, one underrated benefit is that gig workers often bring in fresh ideas. You'll be surprised. They bring in fresh ideas. When you hire someone for a project, they come in with new energy and different perspective about different things because of where and the kind of project they have worked on for multiple clients globally, right? Which can spark innovation and creativity. So it is always what a win-win when you have somebody, in that gig economy space or gig worker, they can bring in innovation and fresh perspective about different things. And then the fifth one is fast turnaround. We should not forget about speed, because gig workers are often hired for short-term projects. They tend to deliver work faster. This is especially valuable for businesses with tight, deadline. And then, of course, the number two thing that we are ending this session for today is job creation. The benefit for the economy. This is huge for every economy, for developing economy, for emerging economies, for advanced economies, for presidents and people in authority who have been thinking, giving them sleepless nights, right? They have headache. They have headache. What are they going to do? I think one of the good news I have for them is job creation. One of the biggest upsides, right? Upsides is job creation. The gig economy opens up opportunity for people who may not fit into traditional roles like students, retirees, and stay-home parents. It provides jobs for everyone in every economy. So, people in authority, that's one way that they can create jobs, right? If they are thinking about job creation, that is one sure way of, creating job. And then the last thing is economic growth. Lastly, by lowering the barriers to entry in many industries, gig economy promotes entrepreneurship and fuels economic growth. You can imagine, I can use Ghana as an example. I think for the past couple of years, the not foreign direct investment, but remittances alone, money that come into the country just because people are earning money, etc. They run into billions of dollars for Ghana. They run into billions of dollars. They run into billions of dollars. So as you can see, the gig economy is changing the way we think about work. Whether you're looking to take control of your career right now or run more flexible businesses, the opportunities, guys, are endless. If you find this video very helpful, guys, I want you to share this. Like I said in the beginning, share this to your friend, share this to your family, your schoolmates, etc. Let them know here. I say our motto here is love. We are not greedy. We want to be able to share. So this wraps up the session on the gig economy. The gig economy offers freedom and flexibility, guys. But it also requires what? Discipline and adaptability. Discipline and adaptability. Whether you are in an advanced economy or in an emerging market, the gig economy presents real opportunities for those who are ready to seize them. Thank you all for joining. Next week, we're going to be talking about the sharing economy. Sharing. So don't miss that one. Thank you all. And don't forget to share and give this broadcast a like as well. Thank you. God bless you all for tuning in and for joining in. All right. God bless you. See you guys next week.